on, guys? Mechanics Garage coming at you. We got a 2019 BMW 430i.
Yep.
And this customer is in dire need of pads and rotors. You see this rotor looks horrible. So we gotta get to work here. First off, to get your wheels off, these lugs are the German style, which means these things go all the way through. And these were 17 millimeter, so you're gonna need that to get these bad boys off. And we gotta find out what size we got back here for the caliper pins. I think these things use Allen keys, which sucks. And also for the rotor, you got your pin here that holds in your rotor. That's an Allen key also. So let's see what we got in our repertoire. All right, guys, so for our caliper pin, it's one of these, this is one of those Allen sockets. So this one is an H6 and the caliper pins is an H8. And we gotta figure out what size is this fucking, sorry for cussing. I'm only mad because this thing is one of those E-Torx sockets. So it's the opposite of a normal Torx that sticks out, and did not bring those. So we might have to go run to the store, go grab some. All right, guys, so on the back side for the, take the whole caliper off, that's an E16 right there. So make sure you got one of those crazy E sockets. All right, guys, usually what we do next is you want to compress this caliper a little bit. So I've got a C-clamp on here, pushing it back. And that, if you see, it puts some gap between the pad and the rotor. That's to give you a little bit of room. As you see now, it's loose. So we do that, and then you want to pop off this here bracket. I've seen folks just put a screwdriver under here and kind of pop this thing out. So we'll give that a go. See if we can do that with one hand. And fortunately, in the new pack, they've got these new spring brackets, because this one looks pretty crappy and rusty. So we're definitely not going to reuse these. We'll use the new ones when we put this back together. So I may have to put the camera down to get this thing off because it's a little bit of a struggle here. Let's see here. They're usually not this difficult to get off, but as you can see, they can be challenging. So we'll come back to this once we got this thing off. All right, we see how we got that little spring clip off of there now.
Mine came right off.
Yeah, of course the other side came off with no problem. And now, like I said, these are H8, so we're gonna go ahead and pull these caliper pin bolts out. And then what we're gonna do from there is compress the piston the rest of the way inside of here. All right, guys, we've gone ahead and got back to the passenger side. When you remove your pads, make sure you try to find something to hang your caliper up with. We're gonna use zip ties. They make J hooks, S hooks, all different kind of things you can use. You can use bungee cords, something where you can tie this thing up because you don't want it to be hanging off of the brake line and cause it to crimp. Then next thing we're gonna do here, you see we already got the bolt loose using the H6. We're gonna go ahead and take this rotor off and swap that out. All right, guys, we got our new rotor in and we put our pin back in there. You definitely need this on this car. Like on some American cars, you can get away with not putting this back on because the you know what I'm talking about, to come out, this will sit on top of those, but you need it on this car. Most German cars, you need to do this. Now we put our bracket back in for our caliper bracket. So that was the E16, like I said on the back. You need one of those opposite Torx. And then on this car, you know, there was this brake sensor on here. And I suggest you replace the brake sensor because the way this thing goes on, you see how that looks? This was seized up in the old brake pad. You know, it's got that metal there and we could not get that bad boy off. You can get these at your local parts store. You don't have to go to the dealer. We got ours for 20 bucks, or 18 and some change to be exact. And it just goes back into this little box here. If you take this little plastic cover off, that's where the brake sensor plugs in. So you just unplug it, reroute it back through its brackets, and then you're gonna plug it back in here before you put your caliper back on. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. And we should be able to get this car wrapped up pretty soon here. All right, so we've got this back in, got our sensor in, got our sensor plugged into our pad. Got our pads on. Now we just need to torque down our caliper pins and we'll be all set. So that's it. It's not too bad of a job. You just gotta make sure you got the right tools, just like with any job. And we're gonna move on to the next one. Peace.